Good morning, and welcome to our platforms nrpmediaja.com, also Facebook and YouTube at nrpmediaja. It's Friday, December 22, 2023. I am Kimberly Ashley with the NRP Break of Day newscast. Here are the headlines. Manhunt on the way to recapture the 7 inmates who escaped from the Arokabesa police station in St. Mary yesterday. Opposition spokesman on national security expresses shock at Arokabesa jailbreak and calls for long-term solutions to avert a reoccurrence. Principal of Hopewell High School questioned by the police while Ministry of Education condemns killing of Berso. And in sports, England lost the 5th and deciding T20 against West Indies by 4 wickets, Trinidad to suffer a 3-2 series defeat. The news this morning comes to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations.
Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Now the details of the news. A manhunt is now underway to recapture the 7 inmates who were discovered missing from the Arokabesa police station in St. Mary during a routine cell check conducted at approximately 6 a.m. yesterday. Preliminary reports are that the inmates managed to escape from custody by cutting through a ventilation grill. The escapees, who were in custody for serious crimes, including murder and aggravated robbery, are now subjects of an intense manhunt. They are 24-year-old Trey Walker of Claremont St. Anne, who was charged for rape, 25-year-old Jamala Vernon of Boscobel St. Mary, who was charged for robbery, 22-year-old Philip Williams of Belfield St. Mary, who was charged for shooting with intent, 22-year-old Linton Bailey of Jacks River St. Mary, who was charged for shooting, 26-year-old LaShawn Davidson of Jacks River St. Mary, who was charged for shooting, and 21-year-old Delando Atkinson of Pimento Walk St. Anne and Boscobel St. Mary, who was charged for robbery, and finally 28-year-old Gavin Hurd of Stony Hill St. Andrew and Enfield St. Mary, who was charged with murder. The Arokabesa police is asking anyone with information they can assist them in locating the escapees to contact them at 876-726-0698 or Crime Stop at 311. The JCF tip line at 811 or the nearest police station. Meanwhile, the opposition spokesman on national security, Peter Bunting, says the PNP is very concerned that 7 remandees are now at large in St. Mary. Speaking in an interview with our news center, Mr. Bunting pointed that nothing short of a high-level investigation is needed into this jailbreak.
This is a serious failure of lockup management in the division, and a proper investigation must be quickly conducted, even while the manhunt continues to recover the escapees.
And Mr. Bunting says in light of this most recent jailbreak in St. Mary, he's calling on the government to look at some long-term solutions to avert a reoccurrence of jailbreak from the police lockups.
The long-term solution will be to construct regional remand centers operated by the Department of Correctional Services, similar to the Horizon Remand Center, in order to avoid these repeated occurrences of escapes from police lockups.
Opposition spokesman on national security, Peter Bunting.
Scandalize my name. Sometimes I feel so discouraged and all alone. My mama always told me about.
NRP News has learned that the police of Hopewell High School spent most of last night in police custody as the police intensified their investigations into the murder of the school's bursar on Wednesday. It is unclear if it will be charged, but sources say he is being questioned in connection with the bursar's death. Reports to our newsroom are that about 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, the bursar, 35-year-old Jermaine Roberts, was leaving the compound when, on reaching the gate, a lone gunman walked up to his car and shot him at point blank. The police, Byron Grant, who was reportedly on the compound at the time of the shooting, received injuries when he allegedly broke a glass which cut his hands. He was treated at hospital. Meanwhile, members of staff who were now on Christmas break are reportedly in turmoil, as many say they are taken aback at the incident. The source who spoke to our newsroom says many of the staff were concerned about the development, as according to them, they are not aware of any that should be that they are not aware of any impasse between the principal and bursar, and which could have led to the bursar's death. Meanwhile, Minister of Education and Youth, Favor Williams, has condemned the gun attack on the bursar of Hopewell High School in Hanover on Wednesday as a vicious assault on the education sector. According to the Education Minister, the frequent attacks on the school community and citizens of Jamaica are a distressing reflection of the wanton disregard for human life. She said people who have committed their lives to serving the public good are being attacked by those whose only mission is to create mayhem. Mrs. Williams has urged anyone with information that can help the police in their investigations to share it so that the killer or killers may be brought to justice swiftly. The Education Minister said that the ministry's grief counseling officers will be reaching out to the families and school communities to offer support in the wake of the death. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the health system has been at a standstill for many decades, and it will take some time for it to reach the optimal levels. The Health Minister was giving a review of the sector as the calendar year draws to a close. According to Dr. Tufton, the facilities have not kept a pace with the rise in the population, though the government has been working overtime to make changes.
What you have now is an attempt at right sizing through expansion of buildings like Spanish Town, Maypens, Enhance Bay, Cornwall Regional Restoration, Western Children, building out of health centers, looking at hiring new doctors and nurses, which you'd have heard of, and of course looking at things like leasing of diagnostic equipment and so on. How you do? So we're trying to right size in accordance with that profile.
And the Health Minister says, while the upgrade of the health sector is a work in progress, the culture, among others, will have to be included in the change to be undertaken.
No, it isn't without teething pains. For starters, you have to change the culture of the delivery of service, which is what I spoke to earlier. Right. Because even with the changes, you have to get the people to realign themselves in terms of what they need to do, how they absorb things like technology and the use of technology. And you also have to get the patients, the people of Jamaica, to recognize that you can't expand in a way that meets all your demands if we lead lives that lead to early illnesses and so on. So I would say transformational, but I would say incomplete. It's a work in progress.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton. Meanwhile, the Health Minister says while all the players are not yet on board, his ministry is working hard to incorporate the necessary groups and transition to a new level.
I think we're at a stage now where the tangible manifestations of change are showing themselves, like the build-outs and so on. What we need now are the change agent to make some of those adjustments, and in the population in terms of lifestyle changes. And we're doing policies to support that, things like school feeding, nutrition, school nutrition program, trying to eliminate trans fats in the population. Jamaica moves, know your numbers for screening. All of that is trying to get population to respond. And then internally, things like the customer compassionate care program to get the internal stakeholders to address. It is going to take time, and I think people need to appreciate it.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher. Finally, in the news this morning, organizers of parties for the Christmas holiday season are being reminded to apply for the requisite permits before they stage these events. Head of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, Corporate Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent of Police, SSP Stephanie Lindsay, told the JIS think tank that it is important for all parties involved to be aware of these events so that the necessary safety precautions and assessments can be done by the police. SSP Lindsay reminded persons that they need to get a permit from the local authority, such as the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation or the Parish Department. For some events, she reminded them that party organizers will need a fire certificate from the fire department, while others will need to make contact with JACAP, the Jamaica Association of Composers, Authors and Publishers Limited, to see if they will have an interest in their event as well. She explained that under the Noise Abatement Act, it is required for organizers to make a written request or application to the commanding officer for the parish or the division in which they intend to host that event at least 10 days prior to hosting it. You're listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com. Reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations.
Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you. No boundary, no limitations.
And now let's give you some sporting information brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 9080962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass, quality service is our priority.
The opposition is.
And now for our sports stories. On cricket, England lost the fifth and deciding T20 against West Indies by 4 wickets in Trinidad to suffer a 3-2 series defeat. After being put in a bat, England struggled for fluency at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy and were bowled out for 132 off 19.3 overs. Sam Curran gave England a chance with a brilliant penultimate over, taking a wicket and conceding 2 runs to leave the hosts needing 9 from the last. But Shy Hope's mighty 6 sealed victory with 4 balls to spare. England fought well with the ball, Reece Topley impressing with 2-17 and Adil Rashid taking 2-21, but Hope's crucial runner ball 4-3 not out proved the difference. Playing on the same pitch on which they scored a record 267 in the 4th T20, the tourists' timing was thrown off, with the surface overing more for the bowlers and West Indies attack showing much more consistency. The in-form Phil Salt hit 38, but only Liam Livingston and Moeen Ali, with 28 and 23 respectively, also made telling contributions as England lost their 5 wickets for just 11 runs. The defeat completes a disappointing end to the year for England's white ball sides after a 2-1 series defeat in the one-day internationals that preceded the T20 leg of the tour, and the group stage exit of the 50 over World Cup in November. On football, Lucas Vasquez struck deep into stoppage time as 10-man Real Madrid won at Alves to go top of La Liga. A 1-1 draw between Girona and Betis earlier in the day meant Real knew they would go first with victory. But they struggled to create chances, and their cause was not helped when defender Nacho was dismissed in the 54th minute for a bad foul on Samu Omorodion. But 2 minutes into added time, Vasquez rose to head in a Toni Kroos corner. La Liga top scorer Jude Bellingham was unable to add to his 13 league goals so far in this campaign, but it did not matter as Carlo Ancelotti's side ended 2023 in first place, going above Girona on goal defense. Girona had looked on course to take another important win thanks to Artem Dovbik's first half penalty, but German Pizzella equalized with 2 minutes left. The 5 teams atop the list are now Real Madrid with 45 points, Girona 45 points, Barcelona 38 points, ATL Madrid 35 points, ATH Bilbao 35 points. That's sports in our NRP Break of Day newscast, brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston.
Hepburn's Glass Appliance is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass, quality service is our priority.
We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com or call 876-336-9928. That's the local news and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news courtesy of the Voice of America. That was the
The UN Security Council Thursday again delayed a vote on a watered-down resolution to deliver desperately needed aid to Gaza, a revision backed by the United States, while other countries support a stronger text that would include the now eliminated call for the urgent suspension of hostilities between Israel and Hamas. The revised draft resolution was discussed behind closed doors for over an hour by council members not long after it was circulated. Because there were significant changes, many said they needed to consult their capitals before a vote, which is now expected Friday. The Israeli military in Gaza, experts say, now sits among the deadliest and most destructive in history. In just over 2 months, the offensive has wreaked more destruction than the razing of Syria's Aleppo between 2012 and 2016. Ukraine's Mariupol, proportionally the Allied bombing of Germany in World War II. It has killed more civilians than the U.S.-led coalition did in its 3-year campaign against the Islamic State group. Bronx police chief says that a lone gunman opened fire in a university, killing at least 14 people, injuring 25 more. Police in the Czech Republic's Interior Ministry say the gunman in the mass shooting Thursday is also dead. Authorities have not released the shooter's name, but the police chief says he was a student at the university. A letter sent to the embassy staff and seen by the Associated Press says that France will close its diplomatic mission in Niger following this summer's coup in the West African nation and a souring of relations between the two countries. The news at the embassy in Niger's capital is due to close comes as France prepares to withdraw its last remaining military forces from the Sahel state this month. This is VOA News.
That was the latest international news from the Voice of America. And now for the weather report and forecast. There is a stationary front east of Jamaica. The stationary front is expected to remain east of Jamaica and dissipate on Wednesday night. Expect cool and windy conditions, especially across northern parishes, for the remainder of the week. Now for our 24-hour forecast. This morning will be mostly cloudy across northeastern parishes. Elsewhere, it will be partly cloudy, windy, and cool. This afternoon and evening, expect partly cloudy conditions. It will also be windy and cool. On Saturday, expect isolated afternoon showers across sections of western parishes. In other current regional weather features, there is a high-pressure ridge building across the Gulf of Mexico. That is the latest weather report and forecast in the NRP Break of Day newscast. With that, we have come to the end of our news presentation. This evening at 6:30, there will be. With that, we have come to the end of our news presentation. This evening at 6:30, there will be news. Before we go, here are the headlines once again. Manhunt on the way to recapture the 7 inmates who escaped from the Arokabesa police station in St. Mary yesterday. Opposition spokesman on national security expresses shock at Arokabesa jail and calls for long-term solutions to avert recurrence. Principal of Hopewell High School questioned by the police while Ministry of Education condemns killing of Bursa. And in sports, England lost the 5th and deciding T20 against West Indies by 4 wickets in Trinidad to suffer a 3-2 series defeat. The full information package today came to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations. It will also be windy and cool. 3-2 series defeat.
All right, we want to say thanks to Kimberly, Ashley, for bringing us the news this morning. And we do hope and trust that you found the information there quite informative. As she has indicated to you before, we are looking forward to you joining us again at 6:30 this evening for the NRP Evening News Roundup. Until then, Do have for yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. We look forward to engaging you again this evening right here on this platform. Reminding you that coming up at 7 o'clock this morning, we do have the program that's Let the Word Speak with Reverend Paul Blair. We look forward to your company, and we know that you will continue to give the support that we require on this side. Until then, Leon Nash here. Have a great morning.
First Season Sports and Equipment, the Sports Closet, now located at shop number 3, Leaders Plaza, Nashville, Mandeville, Manchester. Call them today at 876-613-7429. Cellular phone 876-363-8323 or 876-546-0630. Yes, you asked for it and now you got it. First Season Sports and Equipment. Shop with us for a wide range of sporting goods and equipment. It's First Season Sports and Equipment. Sports Closet, you'll never go asking for anymore.
Hi there, I'm Leon Nash, CEO of NRPMediaJA.com, and you are listening to NRPMediaJA.com.
Jamaican people, no ready.
Caribbean people, are you ready?
Run it.
There we go. Yeah, people, a Caribbean style. I'm just like in for the praise, you know. Yes, I'm thanking God for this universe. So many beautiful places around the world. But I'm thanking more for the land of my birth. And I think Him bless us especially in the third world. Look at the Caribbean Sea. Around we and our nice trees. They can't be beat. It's hard not to praise Him when you rise in the morning and see the sun is shining and feel the breeze, the Jamaican breeze. We feel the breeze, Caribbean breeze. So let we give God the praise and praise all our days. And praise, let we give God the praise and praise all our days. Let we go. Barbados, Antigua, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, St. Kitts, the Virgin Islands, St. Vincent, Cayman Islands, Jamaica and Haiti, Bermuda, Dominica, Puerto Rico, Guyana, Bahamas,